It's early March 2020. You've just been ordered to stay at home thanks to COVID-19. The first few weeks are fine, but then you get bored. Really bored. What is there to do? Maybe you finally finished that show you've been meaning to finish, or maybe you caught that movie on Netflix you've been wanting to see. The point is, you're running out of content to fill the dark void. All of a sudden, your friends won't stop talking about how much fun they've been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. What? Oh yeah, you remember. Your friends have a Nintendo Switch. Maybe you meant to get one when it came out, but never had the time or could never justify the cost. Now you're stuck at home with nothing but time and stimulus money on your hands. You realize you gotta get that Nintendo Switch. Know the feeling? Well, me too. Hey there, I'm Dylan, and I've been trying to get my hands on a Nintendo Switch for the past 3 months. And I still don't have one. Here's why it's been so hard to find this gaming console, and here's the best advice I can give you on finding one. Let's begin. Part 1. Why you can't find a Nintendo Switch. COVID-19 shut the world down in March, putting a stop to production facilities on a global scale for all sorts of products, including the Nintendo Switch. This global shortage, combined with everyone stuck at home with nothing to do, and the massive release of Animal Crossing New Horizons, caused an absolute frenzy in the Nintendo Switch market. Switches were scooped up like crazy, and they weren't just bought by regular people like you and me. There's two kinds of jerks you can blame for your inability to find a Switch: bot buyers and flippers. The bot buyers. Bot buyers are people who set up bots on big chain store websites to buy Nintendo Switches in bulk. Any Nintendo Switch that comes in stock is immediately snagged by these heartless monsters. Well, why do they need so many Switches, you might ask? Essentially, so they can make that shmoney. These bot buyers can sell Switches themselves or send them through a network of other sellers, called flippers. Flippers have been hoarding Switches, selling them at insanely high rates so they can make a profit. Switches at retail price are only around $2.99 for a regular Switch and $1.99 for a Switch Lite. But some of these flippers have resold these things as high as $643. That's an insanely high profit, and it's an incredibly scumbag thing to do. Making money off of the plight and unfortunate circumstances of others who are just trying to find happiness in gaming throughout a pandemic is really kind of a jerk move. And yeah, just because big businesses in America have been doing this for centuries doesn't mean we should be reinforcing this behavior onto each other. Here's the point. You haven't been able to buy a Switch because other people have been buying them before you, and are selling them at insanely high prices to make a profit. So, what do we do now? I'll tell you, but first, here's how I tried to find a Switch. Part 2. How I tried to find a Switch. After doing some research and realizing there was no way for me to order a Switch at market price, I decided to take matters into my own hands and go out into the disease-stricken world to find a Nintendo Switch. My strategy was simple. I just had to cast a wide net. Maybe if I searched far and wide enough, I could find a Nintendo Switch. There's so many Targets, Best Buys, and Walmarts in Southern California, right? So at some point mathematically, I'd have to strike gold in a store in the middle of nowhere. Maybe some random Target out there has one last Switch in stock, just waiting to be bought. I checked out 5 stores in total: 1 Target, 1 Walmart, 2 Best Buys, and 1 Costco, just because. Here's how it went.
So it looks like all 3 stores we've checked out so far have not had any Switches. They have plenty of games for everything. They just don't have any consoles. They don't have any PS4s, they don't have any Xbox Ones, and they don't have any Switches. They're all gone in this whole shopping area. So I know there used to be a GameStop around back here on the Olive Garden, so I'm gonna go check out if there's the GameStop. I think they may, I thought they closed it down. I think they changed it to some sort of Jamba Juice, but I'm gonna check anyway if there's a GameStop. Is this the LeBron James pizza? Is that this? I can never remember. There was no GameStop. I think they did replace it with like a sushi place. Rest in peace. Kinda want Wendy's. Should I get Wendy's? Nah. Wendy's are for people who find Switches. No Switches in stock. That's an L. I'm gonna go look for more places. So it looks like there might be a Switch in stock in the Best Buy in Atwater Village. So I'm going down there to check. It's a SpongeBob version, which makes it even better. So I think it comes with a SpongeBob game. But we'll see. So we're at this Best Buy. We're gonna see if they have the SpongeBob Switch deal. Fingers crossed. So Atwater was a no. Might be some sort of online specific thing, but that guy said, yeah man, there's not gonna be anything in stock and I gotta check with Nintendo. So it's not looking promising, but I'm gonna check out Costco because I think Costco might have, like, I have no clue if they have these in stock or what they sell like that. But I also kind of want a smoothie, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, Costco didn't have anything. Of course they didn't have anything. They don't really sell that kind of stuff there. Makes sense. So like 4 or 5 stores, nothing else. You just go online, like we don't have anything. Don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably just gonna go home at this point. I got Jamba Juice.
So, unfortunately, I couldn't find any Switches in stock near me. This isn't the end of the road, though. If you really put in the effort and the time, there are resolute ways to find a Nintendo Switch. I have found that you only really have 3 options. You can get used, get lucky, or get patient. Part 3. How you can get a Nintendo Switch. Get used. Just like me, you probably aren't going to find a Switch in stock at your local Walmart. If you don't want to pay insanely high marked up prices for a new Switch, consider buying a used unit. Why buy used? Here's the pros and the cons. Pros. You have more control over bartering for the price of the unit depending on who sells it to you. You could also buy a used Switch the same day you find it, rather than having to wait for a new one to be shipped to your home. Cons. You could get ripped off with a Switch that has hidden broken features, or you could have trouble getting to download games from the online Switch store if the previous owner's account is still on the unit. Also, you're buying a used good, which means your product might not be top quality. Who knows where that Switch has been? Results. Getting used is going to be your fastest track in getting a Switch, but it's one of the most risky ways you can try and find one. I recommend that you use apps like OfferUp to check on local sellers trying to get rid of their Switch near you. Make sure you meet the other seller in person to ask them questions and really take a good look at the unit that you're buying. But beware sellers trying to peddle their crusty Switch to you at super high prices. Also, watch out for fake accounts trying to scam you out of your money by demanding to charge you over Venmo or Cash Apps before the sale goes down. Remember, make your own decision. Don't get convinced into a bad deal. Get lucky. If you like to live on the wild side, you just might want to try to get lucky in finding a Switch. This means constantly driving to stores, scouring the land for a Switch in stock anywhere. If you have the time, energy, and money to do this, why not? Keep yourself updated online by checking the stock status of Switches in stores near you, and be ready to head out of the house as soon as you might see a deal. Pros: you could get lucky and find a brand new Switch at retail price. You could even walk away with some good game deals depending on the store if you get even luckier. Cons: getting lucky is extremely unlikely. On top of all the time, energy, and money you might have to spend getting this done. Probably not worth it in the long run, especially if COVID-19 is still pummeling your area. Results: getting lucky is the most unlikely track in the hunt for a Switch. Getting lucky is all about, well, getting lucky. There's no telling where and when a Switch will be in stock or sold out. There's a higher chance that you'll never end up finding anything in stores. But hey, who knows what's out there waiting to be bought? Get patient. This is what I have decided to do. Getting patient is all about realizing that finding a new Switch at retail price anytime soon is sort of a pipe dream. Thanks to the pandemic, there's no telling when the USA will get major Nintendo Switch restocks. As long as bot buyers and flippers are still taking advantage of this pandemic, there's not a high chance there'll be anything in stock anytime soon. So you might as well hunker down and keep a constant eye trained on the stock status of Switches in your local big chain stores. A good idea here might be to sign up for Stock Informer email lists that send you a notification the minute a Nintendo Switch is labeled as in stock at your local stores or on Amazon. Although, most of the time, these Switches get immediately bought by bots or other prepared buyers. I know, it seems kind of bleak. Will I ever get a Switch by being patient? Well, who knows? But the patient track is the safest and most likely to succeed in your hunt for a Nintendo Switch. Maybe one day Nintendo will start up major production again and flood the market with Switches, and all those bot buyers and flippers will be stuck with a bunch of worthless merchandise. Meanwhile, you'll be sitting on your couch playing Mario Kart with your friends. We'll see. Until that moment, good luck and stay safe. Getting lucky is extremely unlikely. Oh my god.